Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the latest episode of She-Hulk Attorney at Law, Just Jen. So, thankfully we didn't have a giant fucking title on this one, but this was still a strange one. Granted, I think that both the A and B would have been more interesting if they took up a whole episode in of themselves, but with how it was smooshed together with both of them, neither of them kind of reached any kind of the potential that they could have hit otherwise. The one that actually came out on top more was Nikki and Mallory doing a thing with this dude called Immortal and Mr. Immortal. He that was actually the best part. The rest of it is dealt with Jen going to a high school friend's wedding. And they even talk about how this is kind of inconvenient to come up in the season, but that, like, weddings usually are. And I'm like, yeah, but the whole thing is you don't really dive that much into it. Like, she goes off, she arrives in She-Hulk form, because she needs to show off that she's doing good. And the bride, of course, is like, this is my special day, don't come as She-Hulk kind of shit. And it's like, okay, like, I kind of get both sides, but I don't really care about either character winning out over the other. Like, Lulu is your typical Bridezilla shit, just thrown in trying to also shit on Jen through most of it. So you pretty much are against her most of the time because she is a shitty person. She pretty much had Jen there to make herself feel better, except when she's in the She-Hulk form and everything, and then working at a prestigious law firm that completely and utterly destroys her kind of whole thing going on. And that they pretty much paired off most of the groommen, but they've got this person coming for her. She kind of talks with this one Josh dude who is a non-entity. Like, I don't feel that there's any character there other than, oh, he likes Jen for Jen. Which is nice. I want that, but that's it. I don't know what the fuck else is up with this dude. Like, we don't have any deep dive on him. You know what I mean? Now, granted, they could fix that going on later. But at this point, it's just like, hey, we showed you all these other shitty dudes, which, oddly enough, I feel like they had more kind of depth to them to a degree. If that makes sense, like, there's not much there to them, but this dude is just like, oh, I like Jen for Jen, whereas the other dudes, you had the one muscle dude who's just into lifting and is trying to pretty much, like, compare himself to She-Hulk, like, I can do all this kind of shit. The dude that's like, I'm a really big Uber fan and would like to experiment on you, there's at least depth on that. The fucking filmmaker dude and the shitty doctor dude. God damn, how the fuck can they have... I don't know, man. It's nuts. And then Lulu pretty much just makes her do all this kind of stuff. Fuck, even, like, Jen's brother or whatnot's doing the DJing for it. And then she finds out that Titania... Titania? Yeah, Titania is invited to the wedding as well because she's dating one of the groomsmen? Like, it is the most paper-thin kind of thing to be like, oh, we're going to have her there at the wedding and we're going to have a little bit of a shit knocker kind of thing going on. It's like, I don't care. The beef between them is so thin that I don't give a shit. I don't even give enough of a shit to watch them fight, really. And even that, at this point, really sucks. So, we see her pretty much continuing to do stuff. For some reason, the other bridesmaids are assholes as well, and have Jen try and iron these clothes because the guys are playing Mario Kart, which was a kind of odd dig. I'm just like, and? Like, why the fuck are they making kind of like... I don't see any point to, like, the dig at the gamer kind of shtick. It was like, okay, they're not doing anything shitty, and for some reason you're like, oh, their clothes are wrinkled, let's just put this shit on Jen, and trying to make it that, like, make some kind of weird commentary that, like, games are an esport. I'm like, yes, because they sometimes, with certain kind of games, require the kind of focus that usually athletes have to put into a certain kind of crafts and ability, understanding spawn points, understanding how to get through certain things. Just because it's more of a mental kind of thing than a physical kind of thing doesn't kind of negate that kind of fact. So I'm just like, all right. And the thing is, if you're going to do a joke or something about it, have it either say something or like be kind of funny. And the thing is, I didn't really feel it kind of being funny. Now, if you got enjoyment out of it, that's cool to you. Humor's got its subjective element as well, but I just was like, all right, cool. So then we just get to the whole kind of wedding thing. Jen pretty much goes to the bar, which isn't open. You actually have to pay cash, and she just gets fucking blitzed. And then complains to Josh that she kind of wanted to show that she's doing good. And I kind of understand that. However, you also have to balance out the thing of being like, it's this person's big wedding day. Now, granted, that doesn't give them carte blanche to be a fucking asshole, Lulu, because she pretty much has Jen promised not to be She-Hulk. And they have a little kind of moment, and she's like, oh yeah, I like you. And then she's going outside to puke, and then Titania is like, hey, I told you I'd come back to, like, kick your ass. And then we see that Jen has trouble transforming for some reason. I think they just did it for dramatic effect. And then they have, like, so much of a little fight that it's, like, not worth it. Like, honestly, if you can't do this kind of fight scene or whatnot, or you don't have the budget for it, don't do it. Rewrite the whole kind of thing. Do what your budget can allow you to do. Sometimes try and push it as far as you can, and sometimes you just know not to do it. Know when to do your, like, they just have this kind of weird kind of, like, punchy kind of fest a little bit. Like, She-Hulk breaks some kind of stuff outside on the patio. The whole kind of, like, fucking brick shit. But then they get in, they kind of fight a little bit. Titania pretty much, like, trips and breaks her veneers, and she runs away crying pretty much about that. I'm like, alright. And then Lulu comes and is like, oh, She-Hulk's at my wedding. It's like, I don't give a shit. Ah! And there's that. That's pretty much it with that shit. We still haven't seen She-Hulk's outfit or anything like that that she got from the superhero dude. So let's get over to the Nikki and Mallory thing. They got the Mr. Immortal. He wants to divorce his wife. And that, oh yeah, I already kind of killed myself, but I got better, so this should be pretty easy, right? And, of course, both women are horrified that this asshole is doing this kind of shit. And then he literally proves that he has no idea how to handle conflict by throwing himself out the window, crashing and trashing a security vehicle for the law firm, and then running out. And it's like, huh, okay. And then we find out he's done this to multiple people, and that they all did all this shit. They were going to try and, like, split everything evenly, but then they started fighting. But then Nikki was able to somehow come to arrangements to pretty much get everybody into a good kind of headspace and get them what they wanted, except for Mr. Immortal. And, let me see here. Yeah. She's able to work it out, even though we mainly just come into the end part of it. Like, Mallory doesn't really... She doesn't really see the use of Nikki. And I kind of get it. She hasn't really worked with her, so of course she wouldn't. And she's more Jen's friend than Mallory's friend. But she's able to get everybody pretty much to a headspace that's good and gets them what they want. And Mr. Immortal pretty much agrees to all the kind of stuff. Because he's been doing this for years. He gets married to somebody, leads to some kind of conflict. He kills himself. And one even had like a jazz funeral or whatnot. It's like, what the fuck, dude? He just came off as a complete unrepentant asshole. And it's like, alright, fuck that noise. And then they pretty much look into this website, Intelligentsia. Let me see if I'm saying that right. Intelligentsia. Which is where they pretty much, like, came together, the other kind of spouses, because they could see, like, other kind of videos of him. And then they see that all these people are, like, doing death threats against She-Hulk and everything like that. And Mallory is like, don't tell Jen about this because that'll just mess with her headspace. But, of course, Nikki decides to tell her about it, and then it leads, for some reason, to the organization that's trying to get Jen's blood, which, by the way, has been handled horribly, in my opinion. If that is the overarching conflict and plot that you're trying to get through in this show, they have not done that well. And then, for some reason, they're thinking, hey, there's only certain kind of things that have pretty much broken a Hulk skin. Let's just do a big fucking drill thing, man. Yeah, alright, cool. Because that's what it shows. It shows, yes, we gave this random ass motherfucker Asgardian shit and a little syringe to get her blood. So let's just go big thing. And it's like, Bruce Banner's Hulk has only gotten injured at certain kind of instances, and one of them was a giant fucking wolf that bit his ass in Thor Ragnarok when they were fighting shit. It's like, the Hulk's been around for a while enough that you would think that these organizations would have better understandings of how they would try and do this, and that the best kind of way to do it would be probably to get it from Jen, though I guess with the physiological changes of transforming into a Hulk, you'd probably want the Hulk blood more than anything than the regular Jen blood, but I don't know. And we also got that Jen was trying to call Bruce, and that she just left a message for him so that Bruce is doing whatever. So this was a very random one. I was more intrigued with the Mr. Immortal shit going on rather than the Jen stuff, and I think it would have been better to actually have Jen handle that kind of case and do that, rather than just to have the half-baked sitcom, oh look, it's a wedding episode. And the thing is, it's only half of that, and it's a 30-minute episode, and it's just like, wow, this just really feels useless to me. And I'm like, the only thing that mattered is that the people trying to get her blood have now upgraded their capabilities to big drill thingy. And that's it. So I would feel like I wouldn't recommend watching this. Not because that it's horrible, but that there's better things to do with your time. You know? Like, I don't say this because of, like, the bad acting of anybody really in particular, or anything like that. It's just, the content really isn't there, and it really isn't engaging with this. It's like, okay, you've got, like, the potential and some good kind of things to try and jump off of, but you don't really do anything with it. Yeah, so this one was more like, not like, hey, this is completely and utterly horrible. It's just like, why did I watch this? Oh yeah, hopefully that we see something kind of good out of it, get some kind of Wong kind of thing out of it, see her kind of working with Bruce, those kind of things. So we've got 3 episodes left? Yeah, we got 3 episodes left. We gotta see how Daredevil's gonna pop up, and I worry about that. And what else is gonna go on, because since this has more been going for the 30-minute kind of stuff, I don't know what they're gonna be doing with the plot of, hey, these people want her blood. And, like, we don't know who they are, we don't know their motivations, Jen doesn't know who they are or their motivations, and that's a tall order to ask in any other kind of show trying to pump that shit out, but whatever. We'll see how this kind of works. So those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.